Okay, I guess we're live again. I'm very sorry for switching days. Usually it's Sunday at this time, but something come up last minute and I will not be available tomorrow at the regular time. So I decided I'll have my chat here unscheduled at, the usual 10 o'clock time. And hopefully enough people will see it to make it worthwhile. But I do apologize and hope I didn't ruin your plans. But a lot going on. I've had a lot done on the channel. I actually have a backlog of videos. I try to release one a day, and I have a bunch in a queue, lined up. Let me see how many. Yeah, I still have 8 more that I haven't published yet. And I've got another 5 or 6 that are still in the camera that I haven't edited or uploaded. So we got a lot, and there's a lot going on. Okay, not only did we have, yeah, well, I just started, ain't even 2 minutes yet, so don't worry. Um, we had our Black Friday and gun sales, which some of them are still going on. I've seen where the prices are creeping back up slowly, $20 an item or something, or like the $100 shotguns are now $105 or some stuff like that. But a lot of deals out there if you're looking. Granted, they're all budget guns, and some people don't like them and hate them. I mean, the last live, they're all talking anything with a polymer frame is garbage and I wouldn't buy it. All right, then don't watch the video. Okay, I don't want to upset no one. But on the other hand, there are a few negative comments, but I do receive a lot of comments and questions from a very large number of people that, ask about these firearms and are interested in them. So, that is why my channel has picked up a lot in terms of views and time, and like I'm going to start asking if you can. I mean, it's a simple thing to do. Hit the like button or subscribe to my channel. It helps the numbers and it helps keep the channel strong. Okay. Um, another thing going on, I guess the blind sniper, he does a lot of surplus things and talks about different military style guns and that. And I guess he said it's just all coming down on him. They suspended him for 90 days, like they did to me once. And paranoid to say or do anything that'll get him another strike or another, suspension because they will wipe out your channel. And somebody here that comes on all the time, the one I like tacos, I guess that's his fourth channel that he's on now. I can't remember what his other channels were, okay, but I probably remember them. But 4 of them are gone, okay. I mean, they just delete your stuff. I was lucky. I came close a few times. I was lucky, but got a lot of things going on. Going to do some reloading projects. So everybody who's a member or has a membership, uh, I keep saying ammo's cheap and that. Yeah, but if it's 9 millimeter or something like that, it is. But say you want to shoot your M1 Grand. Number one, you just don't put anything in there. Okay, you got to have certain tuned ammo so you don't screw the gun up. And second is you can buy PPU or certain ammo that'll be just perfect, but it's well over $1 around, dollar something around. Okay, it's quite expensive. But now I've got this stuff lying here. I've got the powder in the clay. It's time to reload. Okay, and if you remember, I'm going to go over getting prepped, how to do this, and step by step. And with any semi-automatic rifle, RCBS small base dies. Okay, is the key. 104,000. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked the price of silver this morning, but that's a good point. Let me do that. I usually have it up, but I don't. So silver bounces $1 a day one way or $1.50 a day, back and forth and back and forth. It's crazy. Stock markets go up, the stock markets go down. I have no idea what's going to happen. I just hope there isn't going. Well, it's not that I don't hope. I just know there's going to be some sort of crash or something coming up here. Something, and it's all going to hinge around when Trump comes into power. This is when everything's going to get really, really weird. All right. Morning, Joe. Glad to see you made it. I'm sorry, like I said in the beginning, I'm sorry I changed days, but something come up and I got to do something tomorrow. Jared. Yep, it's reloading season. I might as well. I'm in here. I had to press run and sizing up some 9mm Mac brass because that stuff is expensive as hell. And I got the components sitting around. I bought them. Some of the stuff I bought years ago, I just buy it randomly and put it away, and it pays because now the stuff's double in price if you can find it. You know. Well, it goes to show you, going into this health stuff, a lot of people don't get decent health care because, like that small company I work for, they charge you, first of all, they're not paying you a top wage. And second of all, what they deduct every week for this bullshit insurance they get, I mean, you're paying, I forget, one place it was $50 a week I'd have to pay in to keep the insurance, basically buy my own. And the insurance was crappy. A lot of people don't do it, and they postpone doing any medical or going to a doctor because it's just a reoccurring thing which costs you a ton of money because they prescribe all this medication without insurance. They prescribe, if I had to buy the medication out of pocket a month, it's like $5,000. Okay. And people can't afford it. They don't take the medication. They don't go to the doctor. And now I'm in that age group in the 60s where I see these people are dropping dead like crazy. They get so bad that they have to go to the doctor without insurance. They go there and find out that the reason they're in pain is they got stage 4 cancer. I know 4 people that happened to them. It's this medical stuff is criminal. And what they do to people, I mean, it's tough enough to make ends meet. But when you have to decide, I can't afford, medication, I can't go to the doctor because these bandits are going to bankrupt me. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. Great cool weather project. Yeah. That ain't bad. M65 field jacket. I had a couple of them. I had one I wore in the steel mill because I had it for years, never wore it. And working in the steel mill gets tore to shit. And I remember I'd be walking out to the car after punching. Where'd you get that jacket? I wish I could get one. Mine wore out, when I was in the service. So yeah, they're a good one, a U.S. one. They're good. And surplus, yeah, but how much is it? You know, I loaded up 1,000 rounds. I got 1,000 rounds with loadable brass. I can, and I got bullets. All I got to do is sink some primers in them and run them. It'd be a lot less. Cost me, well, I already have it, so it's not going to cost me anything. I already have the material. I mean, that's the thing. How do you go after them when all of them are so corrupt? I mean, you're talking you'd have to arrest 60% of the government on the light side, if not all of them. I mean, that's how they stay in power. They're all guilty, so you can't prosecute one or implicate one without the whole damn thing falling apart, is basically what it is. And that's not just here, that's globally. All these people running the show are crooked, you know, and that's just life. You know, I don't know. That's why I have these live broadcasts and do things and make videos, keep my mind off, because it'll you drive yourself insane if you think about it too much. How's it going, man? Good morning. Yes, but coming into the new year, I guess like the government, we got a lot going on. Gonna cover some guns. Gonna kind of drift away from the budget bargain basement stuff, which I know everyone likes it, but we're going to drift away to that and get into some of the more expensive things. Okay. And this is where you got to pay attention, because when you're dropping a ton of money on something that is questionable, you got to know a lot of your options in there and what's going on. And of course, I'm just going to tell you the truth. See, the thing I keep stressing to people is I'm not a professional gun reviewer like some of these channels. I mean, they have this whole setup. There's Scoot. There's that guy and his wife. He does very good reviews of the pistols. He does a tabletop, then they go out, they shoot it, they give their opinion, and then they shoot all this different ammo in the gun, which is a good thing, because I found some of these guns do better with certain ammo than others. Okay, it's just the way firearms are. It has nothing to do with what they cost. It's just the nature of the beast. So, yeah, I just tell you the truth, just like an average person. I'm not an expert. I'm not an instructor in target shooting or self-defense. No, actually, things have been looking up. I've been milling around. I got somebody that owns a pawn shop that when he gets a mill surplus stuff, he doesn't have it out on the counter. He has it in the back. And he brought out something to me because I went in there for a transfer. And he goes, "You know about these things?" I go, "Yeah." And he brought something out, and he needed cash, didn't have it. So I may go back and come out looking pretty good with some actual finely milled surplus stuff. Okay. And I've decided also to go on to a little bit higher grade and more mill surplus. So it's not so much I call it commercial market, or, it's just new retail guns that are all Glock clones or revolvers or something. We're going to try to drift back into more military weapons, military history, and, more surplusage type stuff, surplus. I'm jealous for that. I forgot his booster. Yeah, I mean, the insurance companies, it ain't no fun, especially once you're over 65. They do all kinds of weird stuff and deny stuff, and it's not good. And it does cost people their friggin' lives, or, makes the end of their life more miserable. A Belgian 9816 well, what's half price? What are you talking about? Because those are hard to find. Okay, the 89s are hard, and the 8916s, I've seen a few of them, and they go high. Right now, if you follow Gunbroker, the best thing to do is go to lock, stock, and barrel. Okay. And I'll show you what they got running here. I'll discuss it with you on my watch list. There's a couple guns that I really, really would have liked to have gotten over the years, but never have. It's the Hungarian FFG 35M bolt action rifle. A few of those came in. They're really neat. And now, I think I could have got one years ago for an awful lot of money. But he's got two of them. One's at 1,325 right now, and one's at 1,725, which to me, as neat as those guns are, that's too much. That's way too much. Song makes nice knives. Oh, that's cool. SOG, SOG, Special Operations Group. Good morning, Taco and Fries. Yeah, I don't mind it. And I mean, at one time, just like all the surplus stuff, you had all them pistols. I got both Polish pistols. I got a Bulgarian Makarov. And what the hell? I had the FFG with the aluminum, but that gun was a bit too, the Hungarian gun with that light alloy frame stung my hands. And I was out in the winter one time and my finger got cold and I set the gun off without knowing it, just shooting. And I said, you know what? I ain't gonna deal with it. I had two of them. I bought one, regretted it, got another one, made a video, shot it again, and then got rid of it. But yeah, the Mac is cool. $18.92 for 450, which is not a bad price. The 92, that's the whatchamacallit. That's a 32 caliber. That's not bad. You used to be able to get brass from Fiocchi, and they do make a bullet the right diameter for that. I just never have gotten around to reloading mine. Mine, I think, had a defect because it would shoot way to hell to the left, and I tried recrowning the barrel and got to go back. I got the dies and stuff. That might be another project for me to get going here. I mean, I've been in a slump. I haven't done a lot of things, with a lot of things going on. And now it looks like I'm getting geared up for a new year. I've been busy these past 2 weeks every day, organizing things and doing stuff, looking at my materials for reloading. A lot of people have asked me to reload stuff for them. I don't do that anymore. The cost is preventative. If I charge labor and just the material, nobody's going to like the price tag on the ammo. Okay. That's not a tough one to load for. You can get the dies in that. It'll cost you some money and you can get the components. I just have to figure out how to make the brass out of something other than the French, which could be 3220, I believe, trimming it and sizing it. I don't know. I've never done it because I do have the actual Fiocchi made French brass. Okay. That is a good price. You're right. You scored there, my friend. Anything like that, you get under 400. Is the condition good? Because a lot of them, somebody had one, a carbine, and he wanted 200 for it, but it was beat. I mean, I forget. I ran across some guy, and then he disappeared. Now I kicked myself. I should have got it because you don't really see them come up much. Yeah, it's similar, but you'd have to. It's different enough that you just can't use 32 Smith and Wesson long. Okay, I haven't done it. Like I said, I have Fiocchi ammo, which I was using, and I got the brass, I got the dies, but I never got around to fooling with it, the few times I've shot it. I'm here for the Turkish bullpups. Well, I'll tell you, I don't like them things. I just got that uh, Centurion to where it runs, and now that's going to get liquidated because that some of that foreign shells, there's fire shoots out of that thing right by the side of your head when you shoot it. So the bullpups, you can keep them, man. And I ain't going to fool with them no more. Good morning. Yeah, and that's not a bad price on an 1892. A lot of that stuff, like the French little 30 caliber semi-autos, I forget what they are, the 35 or 30 something A and S. I mean, it used to be like 300 or so. Now they're way up on it. Anything is out of sight if they're not bringing it in. And I suppose French. No, you can't say that. The 8 millimeter French is probably loaded more like 32 Smith and Wesson, a very light charge. It's not a powerhouse or something zipping out of there. It's on the same, all of them. The Nagant, the French revolver, and several other different weird 32s. The Swiss had one. They call them 8 millimeters, and I think the Dutch even had. Was it Dutch or somebody? They're all basically 32 Smith and Wesson long or in that class. You know, they all differ, and the cases differ. And I forget one of them. The Swiss one uses a bullet, a normal 32 bullet inside the case, where the other one uses a healed bullet that you have to have a bullet larger than the diameter of the case to make it work well, and that's kind of tricky. But they're all based on the 32 Smith and Wesson long polygon rifling. That's for the CZ is a polygon one. Yeah, it's called a P63 or something. It's not really even called a Hungarian Makarov. It's just a clone of the uh, Walter PP series. Yeah, let's hit the like button. Let's help get the use. Yeah, people say to do that, but what happens is the damn cases explode inside there or will split very bad. It's always good to get the ammo or the case to fit. I forget that Austrian 8 millimeter revolver, they put 32 Smith and Wesson long in there, and the case is split right open. I mean, it's probably not a good thing for the pistol either. There he is. Yeah, there's dies for the French and the Swiss revolvers. I have the dies for them and the brass. That was made by Fiocchi when I bought that pistol from that weird old guy. He's still alive too. He's like 93 or something. He bought that in a pawn shop somewhere. I forgot. I gave him. I think I told him it was in nice shape. I'll give you $400 for it. And he's like, yeah, So he probably paid $20 for the damn thing 50 years ago or something. But it's a nice gun, and they're pretty tough. And they go for 800 or more now. Get some gas in your furnace. All right. That's a very good observation. have an ATI Turkish. Yeah, the bullpups, I never really was a fan of bullpup guns. I have very little experience with them. That shotgun is actually the first bullpup anything I owned. I think. I don't know if I had one or not. Can't remember. Okay, Tomas. Well, that's the whole reason I made the videos, Tomas, is, you know, to go out there, shoot them, and do it safely. You know, a lot of people just cram something that fits in there and shoots a 44 caliber bullet or something, you know, that's close, but really isn't what you should be using. And, you know, that's what I strive to do, is try to get it as close to the original as I can within the parameters. And thank you very much for the compliment. Yeah, well, I don't know. I have the correct brass and ammo, so I never even stuck 32 Smith & Wesson. And I think the cartridges in the Swiss are shorter. Okay. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I bought the cases and I have the dies. So I just load it. So I don't do any of this weird stick something in there and maybe it'll work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Yes. Yeah, I see. I don't know. Okay, I've never done it, so I can't answer that. I can't agree, disagree, or whatever. I like putting something real damn close to what it should be into the guns. Morning, Victor. You in town on the road today or hanging around the house? Yeah, PA 63. Still, man, third shift's always a barrel of laughs. You know, wonderful environment too. I did some of that fabricating work at O'Neill Steel here in North Carolina. Well, yeah, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention, and the guy next to me come and just I thought I had to range myself because it was raining. It stopped raining, and I said, "Great!" And I'm setting up the camera and everything, and this guy pulls up and drags out a pile of guns, and it sounded like Al Qaeda training next door. He was just shooting like crazy, and I thought I'd have the range. That's why I go very early. So when I want to speak, there's nobody shooting in the background, and I can do it. But yeah, it's a pretty nice gun for what the price was, and it shoots pretty, it shoots like any normal revolver should. I mean, I like it. And the fact that it's blued other than some designer color or something, you know, I like it. Heading to a wedding or deer hunt. Yeah, they had a ton of them. When they bring them in, they have a ton. And when the things are reasonable, like the Nagants, $100 a piece with the web sling, cartridge, cleaning kit, this, and I mean, they would just evaporate. Okay. I'd go to the gun show. Some of them guys would bring one case to a show. Some of them would bring two. It got to the point they were bringing two cases. And then once they emptied one case, they'd sell the crate or that green box. I don't know how many were held in there. I mean, and where do they go? You rarely see any of them show up used either. You know, you'd figure you'd go into a pawn shop or something, there'd be 4 or 5 of them up on a wall. You don't find that. That's the very strange thing. It's like the French Moss rifles, the 36s. You had piles of them. They were $65, $70 a piece. Uh, and you very now you see them. They want $400 or $500 for them, and you rarely see them come up. You don't see that many of them floating around. A Mimi gun now. What's that, Joe? Gotta explain that to me. I don't like that. Yeah, that one you got to be careful for. It doesn't use standard 6mm bullets because there's a guy who bought one, tried reloading it with the wrong bullet, and blew the damn thing up. Uh, Send me an email about it, and I'll tell you what I researched because I was looking at one, and I'll see if I can remember. Uh, it is a tough one to load for. Okay, that's going to be very true. And Persian Mausers, they were high when they came in. They were very rare at one time. You couldn't find that variation. And a batch of them come in. They were high then, and now if you find them, they're that's a tough one. You got a pretty good list there this weekend. You got an auction running somewhere, or are you watching? Go back to what's his name here. So you got Lee. All right, one thing here on the auction, lock, stock, and barrel, Anubis Armament shotguns. They got like 15 of these things listed, starting at $70 a piece or something. They're a Turkish-made gun, but I've never heard of Anubis Armament. Yeah, well, all those countries use some sort of little lightweight 32 caliber revolver, the French, the Swiss, all of Europe. And actually, I thought about collecting all those different variations in the Gaunt style guns, and I forget the other design. But those got expensive. At one time, they were obscure guns that everybody in the gun show would pass their nose up because they weren't used by the Germans or something. And then I guess, people, as you get older, your tastes get refined. I mean, these Glock clones are basically all the same, gun. And the older guns are neat. Could you get a different country, different marking, something to research, think about, so that's kind of a collector, thing. Our guns. Yeah, but that's not now. I don't know if anybody's importing any Mosins at the point. Can shoot 32 Smith and Wesson long and 32 H&R mag, as it was a gas seal thing. I never heard of that, Joe. Now you guys are going to get me looking into this. I have to make a video about it. Yeah, I have to research. I have to go check Firearms of the World and get the measurements of the cartridges. I can tell. You go to our Cartridges of the World, and if you look up the damn measurements, you can do the math. If there's a 10, 15 thousandths difference in the base diameter in that's not a healthy thing to be firing them things. And the 32 H&R mag, I don't know about that. That might have a little bit more of a pressure thing than, unless they're way undersized and they just believe that the thing's sealing it so the expanding gas blows this thing out. I don't know. There's like an internet joke in a picture, or meme. Yeah, the internet is a joke. So, but yeah, there we go. We got an expert here. 236 Navy. Did you ever reload for that? I remember you said you had one. You had one in your collection, but did you ever reload for it or figure out how to reload for it or what? Better yet, the diameter bullet. 236. That probably means it's a bit smaller than the hell is the standard one? 264 is a standard 6.5. See, I can't remember exactly without a reference book. Yeah, like you're right. I wouldn't put 32 H&R mag in a Nagant revolver. All right, that's true. He is correct on that. And then when the ammunition did come in, it cost if you bought the 10, which was 300 and some dollars, them little 14 round boxes come out to $8 a piece. That's what the going rate was. RRC brass. Yeah, see that's the issue there. You'd have to if I had one, I'd figure out how to make the brass 220 Swift. Have to see. See that's where you got to do your research. You just hear somebody say, "Oh, it was this." You got to get measurements. You got to see what's close and adjust. How difficult it is. Because turning a rim to a different diameter is one thing. Making it thicker or bigger is another. Usually that doesn't work. Okay, so some of these things can be problematic, but you want to get the stuff as close as you can to what it should be. Okay, for just the fact that those guns are old and for safety reasons. Oh, because you've done it. See, so there we got the voice of experience. Yeah, but Carson, I can't help it. You know, just sitting around the house being bored ain't good for you. So got to ratchet it up a little. Need a little fireball. Yeah, Buffalo Arms. Uh, where is he? Jared. Buffalo Arms would be the place to see if you can get, if anything, they either swage or make bullets or have somebody custom swage them. You might have to do that. But Buffalo Arms would be a very good place to see if and when they have it in stock. The problem is a lot of the stuff they have is very unusual and rare. And when they sell out, it might not be available sometimes for a year, 2 years until they run another batch or I don't know if you contacted them and asked them or something like that. Or a lot of companies wait till you go, hey, put me on the list. And once the list gets so long, they'll actually move on some of that stuff. M70. 22 Swift. Yeah, that cartridge. I've heard of it, but that's an old one. 454 based off of it. Yeah. 650, yeah, because it was four something. I mean, because I think, well, with the Russian boycotts, even if there is some of it laying around there, they're probably using it now, but you're not going to see it come in no more. I mean, that's tough. What are your wagers on if we make it past January before the chaos ensues everywhere? Well, here's the question about it. Um, I believe a lot of that civil unrest prior to the election was done deliberately and it was artificial. Okay, because if it wasn't and there was an underlying social problem, we'd still have those issues and problems right now. Okay, because nothing has changed. Okay, that was instigated to terrorize the public. Okay, uh, I don't see it happening. Okay, because there's also this thing with the conflicts, in Europe and in the Middle East. That's a bit more scarier. Okay, so we don't need civil unrest no more. We have something a lot worse, and people have told me that this thing in Europe is going to keep going on, irregardless if Trump gets into office. This is like a set thing that's snowballing. The only good thing is a lot of these governments, the Canadian government, the French government, and the British government, are having issues. Okay, a lot of political instability. Nobody wants to go into some kind of European war again. Okay, so I don't know. Uh, because really, I know it benefits the people who profit from war, but the way things are so unstable now, I don't see how they can pull it off without some real serious backlash and creating other problems, which would be worse. Yes, the pinfire things, I know that fella in France makes the little kits to reload them. And I used to find the pinfire revolvers floating around everywhere, at one point in time. And I almost was tempted to get one just to say I can make the ammo, and I understood that. But that's a project I abandoned a while back because it would be neat. Because a lot of those guns, I find them, used to find them in actually like unused condition. Okay. Uh, a lot. I remember as a teenager, you used to see them, and they weren't a lot of money. But then again, we didn't have the internet, and I couldn't order the kit to load them that one fella makes and that. But that's probably something I won't be working on, Tomas. But thanks for the offer. Okay, yep, 2008. That sounds about right. But yeah, I remember they had single action onlys. I forget what they called. Uh, and where they're gonna. Yeah, they said something about bird flu in the milk. Uh, you know, my good friend. Okay, I have no idea what that all is. Started. Yes, that's true. It is kind of a repeat of what's going on. Uh, it is pretty serious about what's going on. And we'll see what happens. Built up in the Med with Israel is massive. Yeah, that's true. They may spark something, like I said, they may do something outside of this country more than getting it done. Recently watched my video on solvent traps. I haven't made one in about 4.5 years. Is it still legal to order one? If you can find them somewhere, go ahead, but you're not. I believe that what they did is they banned them from coming in. They called them even though they weren't finished the silencer. And if you try to order one from China or something, uh, you won't get them. They just don't show up. So I don't know. You'd have to look. As for the legality, I don't know. I wouldn't fool with them. Put it to you that way. An original 88. I have one. Out of the half dozen that I have, I bought one, and see, people don't know what the original is. I have 188 that I got when I accumulated about 15 of them online. That isn't the original uh, caliber. Let me write that down. I may make a video about that. I did the thing on the 88s. I did that long dissertation, uh, you know, on the 88s, and went over all the different things, and that book explains it. But a lot of people don't understand that, and a vast majority of them were converted by the Turks, and I've never found one with the small groove diameter on it. Never. It's really easy, man. Yeah, like I said, it's not that difficult. And work, of course. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Okay, it does. It kind of looks like that. Yeah, now, but I mean, one time they weren't. I was able to see them uh, more often than they are now. And you're right, the ones that you do find are pretty rugged shape. Commander Koba, yeah, they gonna. I haven't seen him or talked to him about that, So have a Mauser 71, G91. That's going to be tough to find. Okay, it's very hard to find in the white receivers, the original ones that are halfway matching, that are the original untouched. And mine has the S, has a little prick punch mark on it and all that, and it's not been turked up or nothing. Those are a tough find, you know. But if I do dig that thing out, I'll make a video on it and compare it to some of the others. Yeah, the pinfires, the design of them revolvers is great, man. They're wild. I remember in my cousin's shop he had one. And I don't even think they wanted more than $100 for the thing. It was like brand new. Uh, but yeah, they're a pretty cool looking gun. I thought about it, but I got too many projects going on. When I was gonna do rim fires. I had a couple of them 38 rimfire pistols, and you can get the brass. They'll machine it where you put a 22 blank in the end, but you got to buy 50 to car. It's like a $200 friggin' ordeal to get the cases from this one company, and then you got to get a healed bullet mold to get in there and that, and then now you're talking the gun cost me $65, and I'm going to have to spend $250 to make ammunition for it. So I kind of nixed that project and actually got rid of those pieces. Yeah, a loading press you can holster. That's cool. Good morning, Joel. I fell into a rare 500. Yeah. Sometimes you run into that. Excuse me. Best deals I find. You have to excuse me. The best deals I found is, and I didn't even know when I was bidding on them at an auction. I had it looked like a Mosin Nagant, and it had the SA stamped on it. So they said Mosin Nagant finished capture. And I wasn't even, because I was there for another gun and I lost it. And I remember then this thing come up. I said, Mosin Nagant, you can get about $200 for them or more, because they started going up. So somebody's bidding on it and they're thinking it's a damn $100 Mosin. So they bid it up to 150. I get it for 160 and I win the gun. I get it back home. I'm looking at it. Wait a minute, this ain't a M9130. It's a Finnish Civil Guard 1920s. I did the video on it. Rifle. Okay. And then probably the best one I ever got is I went to this auction. It was from an estate. They had a whole pile. They had Japanese rifles, and some of them, the rust was leaching out of the barrels on some of these guns. Or on it was like Spanish 93 Mausers, the Spanish rifle, the long rifle. One of them had rust oozing out of it. And there was another one that didn't look bad. And I just figured it was a standard gun. I glanced at it real quick. And so I hit it, and it went up so far, and then I hit it. It was reasonable. It was in nice shape. So I figured, I take it home. I'm looking at it. It's a Chilean naval one with the fouled anchor and that. It's still in the 7mm and still shootable. It was in beautiful condition. Super rare gun. Okay, worth at least, way more, like 3 times more than what the hell I paid for. So yeah, sometimes you make out. Sometimes you don't. That's the fun of collecting. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a video, roll the dice. I'm going to start the video just showing my hand rolling dice. So watch for it. We're going to get a little theatrical stuff going on here. Yeah, I got a whole collection of them with the Schmidt-Rubens, the 1889s, and then I actually made videos shooting them. And see, that's where the argument started. I had trouble with something. And what it was is the throat, because I was using a bit of an oversized bullet or something. The throats in the 1889s are bigger. And when you try using that ammo in 1911 or K11, it wouldn't work. Okay, and everyone's telling me that I'm making a beginner's reloading mistake with the fucking bullet, and I wasn't. I know what I've been doing. I've been reloading for over 50 years, okay? And what it was is that one rifle, the rifling was better and the throat was a little tighter and the bullet wouldn't go in. I don't use them torpedo bullets in the 11s or the 31. You use a Spitzer bullet. But got into a giant argument with people and everyone getting bent out of shape. And I finally figured out what it was and I put the explanation in, but I put it under the members video. So if you wanted to answer, you had to pay me $3. And that made a lot of people angry. But yeah, that's right. Oh, well. $96 of them. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I had most of them. They were easy to find if you didn't mind paying. I mean, I rounded up that collection within 6 months. I had them all. But I got the G31. It was weird. It was like the second from the last year made, and you got to set it on 300 meters to shoot on point at 100 yards. And that's probably why the thing was El Minto. I mean, it was like in beautiful condition. And somebody did adjust the sight. I should go to that one Swiss place and get the correct sight and get that level up and on. Yeah. See, you do. You make out sometimes. You never know. That's why rooting around auctions and that, or the auction mislabels something and they don't know what the hell it is. I kind of miss that. That was fun, going to auctions, going to pawn shops, going to gun stores. And like you go to one place and there was an old Webley revolver, but I didn't know, it looked hokey. And the guy said, it's been sitting in here too long. I picked it up, was looking at it, and he lowered the price on it, and I should have grabbed it. But see, when it was ground and you see somebody was trying to reload for it and all this weird, so I was wondering if there's something really wrong with it, because it came with a whole bunch of reloading tools and stuff and everything. And what it is you need a larger diameter bullet for it. And the guy was probably trying to use 45 HCP and got shit results. So that's why he dumped the whole thing. But I didn't know that much about it at the time I seen that. Now that I know that, if that deal ever comes up again, I'd jump on it. Yeah, if I'm still alive 10 years from now, okay? My mind frame ain't like that. But yes, the Swiss rifles, they're kind of plentiful. They're not horribly produced. They did kind of go way up. Then they kind of backed down when more of them started coming in. So, yeah, that would probably, if you're in the surplus, that probably would be something, if you don't have them, an area to kind of zone in on would be a good one. And that's a good suggestion. Might make a video about that. Something that annoys me, I want a black powder only Schofield pistol, that way shipped to my front door, but with a simple cylinder. They don't, if it is a black powder only, there's no such, you'd have to buy an actual antique, then it can be sent to you. You can't buy a Schofield with a black powder only cylinder. I don't think. I don't quite understand what you're saying. Yeah, the Allen conversions, yeah, people don't understand that. The 1866 second Allen, and I think I got an 1870, which those are kind of hard to find. I wanted to take that out and shoot it. I got to dig them out. See, I got so many of them things in storage somewhere. You know, I'd spend the next 10 years just shooting every gun in my collection one weekend at a time. Well, what happens with something like the gun broker is a lot of people who don't understand guns or don't know, have no clue the friggin' price. The gun broker is like eBay. You just throw it out there with an insane price. Because there was this one guy had some junk, old antique guns. I mean, he had them priced like $1,000. It wasn't worth $100. And one guy told me it was some antique store, and he had that gun on there. He said, I followed that auction. He goes, for 2.5 years, it was listed on the gun broker. And what it was is you could see where somebody drilled a hole in the barrel and put a screw and hung the thing probably on wires up as a display. And because you used to, I remember there was a bar in downtown Utica that had a trapdoor on the wall. I think it was there from the 1870s. It's an old building. You didn't even notice it because with the smoke and everything over the years, it's all black. And I'm looking up over in the dark blackness. And there's a Springfield trapdoor way high with the big high ceilings up on the wall. And they tore that whole section of the city down. But when they closed that bar, I wonder if anybody ever took that gun off the wall. It was kind of strange. But yeah, that thing sat there. The guy found it. Somebody finally bought it for $1,000. Rifles will never be made. I can't say 15 grand a rifle. You know, and you have to remember, mass production. It wasn't made one at a time. And the way they did that, there was a whole bunch of people working for a lot less money, and they just did it. And you did have to have assemblers fit them, but something like that now with CNC machines and that to make the old steel guns would probably be more in the $1,500 to $2,000 price range. Not really. Okay, I see that they get over $1,000 for a trapdoor. I didn't pay that for them, you know, and they're quite common. It depends how old the person is you're speaking to. And a lot of these people, it's something their father or grandfather had in a closet. They find it, oh wow, it's old, it's worth a lot of money. And they are kind of harder to find. If you go look for them, they're out there, but the price is up on them like everything else, like Nagant pistols. No, you can get antiques. Okay, you can get old pinfires or cartridge guns. You can send them. They're antiques as long as the gun was made prior to 1895. Federally, it's not a thing, but state-wise, okay, state to state, it's like the magazines. You know, it 30-round magazine. I can sell them here. I can send them to a state where there's no law. I try to mail them to New Jersey, New York, or Massachusetts, and I'm breaking a law sending that in the mail to someone. Well, you're not selling $100 firearms for $1,500. There are some people there, and there are deals on the gun broker. So let's calm down. I was actually looking at a couple items I might have bid on that they were not unreasonably priced. It depends who you're dealing with. You know, you have veterans, yeah, and their stuff's all. I think what they do is they take the best example. That's what happened with them little short carbines. They are rare. They take the best example, sell it at a humongously inflated price. So I bought it. Okay, it was over $1,000, and I got the thing. And surprisingly, it was in shootable condition. Okay, I think I shot the damn thing. The bore was good. It was complete. Was left out in the damn desert for a while, but and then next thing I know, once I get the gun, they drop the price like $300 or $400 because all the rest of them had mismatched bolts, were rusted, rotted out, and broken. Okay, so that's why I've gotten some things out of there that were okay, but real tough place. And I know there's several people that buy stuff from them constantly. Okay, and that's your own choice. All right, Rodney. yeah, you can. Well, 8 millimeter maximum isn't going to give me the 330. What is it? 4 diameter bullet. That's the problem. Okay, if I use the 338 bullets and weasel them down, I got about a 200 grain bullet, but it's kind of really shaving off the grease grooves a bit, unless you powder coat them or something. But yeah, you can just go with a 338 bullet and go down the 8 millimeter maximum. Not going to get the diameter up where I need it. It's going to rattle down the barrel. That's the problem. The diameter I use is 334. Okay. That's why the custom molds. And I had that one was made. I had another one. There is one that'll work. I just have to go back and get him, and I'll have a 250 grain bullet that'll work in that or the 8x50. But what I did is somebody made that bullet mold that it fits in the 1888-90 wedge lock, and it's way oversized. It won't work in the guns, but in that shot out Kropatschek carbine, it has about 1,000ths deep rifling. I can actually get that weird bullet to work in that gun. So every cloud has a silver lining, Thomas. Even when you make a mistake, sometimes it works out to your benefit. But yeah, the simplest way to do it to save you money is just go with the 338. And then, but see, I have custom made sizing guys to size the bullets down to where I need them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1898 before you can send them if they're handguns. Yeah, there's no uh, issue there. Yes, that's true. All right, 314 made it. All we need now is the geek. Mm. Ah, yep. Well, I know I get him an accurate bullet mold. He'll make me anything. That's where I get all my custom stuff. And a lot of people have gone down a path before me. Like somebody, you can get the original uh, for the Chaspo needle fire gun, the original bullet. I got that mold. 100% works fantastic. It's just my hands rolling the paper cartridges and getting it done. A little bit of a pain, but a lot of my old guns, I have custom molds made, and I have them adjust some. Like for the Dutch bolt action, it's the same as a 45-70, but the thing is, it's only a 390 grain bullet. It's not a 440 grain bullet. I had this special weird little short bullet made, and I loaded in there. I use my one powder load, and the sights are right on. I even get the velocity close to what it's listed in cartridges of the world. Yeah, accurate. That guy, he's top notch. Yeah, I get a lot of stuff from him. Oh well, guys. I don't know. I kind of got winded. Got a lot to do. I may wrap it up. I try to get back next week at the regular time on Sunday. I don't know. Like today was a little off the wall. Those are great bullets, and they work in the replica guns. My Spencer and Rogers or any Colt 44, those bullets work great. Yeah, well, that's the standard barrel thing. You know, it's the standard dimension on the 8x50 Austrians and the Kropatschek, because the Austrians have made it. So they cut them barrels the same as their 8x50s. Okay, the magazine that come with that gun may have gotten dented or busted. I don't know. I got another magazine that worked, and that's what it is. It looks like the magazine was damaged. Okay, that's the whole crux of it all. Yeah, read up on how to reload. You know, anything I should do when I study it, man. The hell is that stuff? I can't remember. It's called a wax. That's case lube you use. Imperial case wax. That's the lube I use. All right, guys. Like I said, sorry, but I got to wrap this up. I'll see you all next week, and thanks for showing up impromptu. It was a good discussion. Covered a lot today and had a lot of fun. Thank you.